Homing bracket!
What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest video. This is obviously part of a series where I focus on a specific director and rank that director's work from worst to best. Done such directors on the past, such as David Lynch, David Fincher, Wes Anderson. The list goes on. You guys can check that out, my director playlist down below. But anyways, guys, you clicked on this video, so you know this time around I'm focusing on Riley Stearn's films and ranking them from worst to best. So he's done 3 films as of the filming of this video, which is April 2022. So I'll be ranking them from 3 being his worst to 1 being his best, and of course my opinion. This will not include any music videos, TV shows, short films, none of that. Just specifically those 3 feature-length films as of the filming of this video, April 2022, that he's done. So anyways, guys, enough exposition. Let's get started. So kicking things off with number 3, we have Faults. So Faults is a solidly crafted film, and I gotta say the opening scene really establishes Stearn as a director, because it's very much so a situation that brings about deadpan humor. It's got that long take that really I personally was very impressed by. And not only that, but the performances in this movie are quite strong. It's a unique take on terms of like the whole cult dynamic that we're so used to. And I think that for me personally, I greatly respected that. It felt very fresh and invigorating on that front. It's not a movie that is amazing per se, but it is a movie that I would definitely recommend everyone watch because it does go by pretty quickly. It's well written. It's got some pretty funny moments, but also some, minor twists that I think that I personally wasn't able to see coming, and I thought that they were interesting to say the least. But yeah, that's why it's my number 3. Next up, my number 2, we have Duel. So Duel is currently in theaters, and I had no clue what it was about going into, and I would highly urge people to go into this movie knowing as little as possible, the same way I did. Because I feel like if you don't know anything about it going into, you'll be surprised by a lot of the things that occur. I know I personally was. I mean, there were some things that I did kind of see coming, but there was a lot of it where I was like, oh, interesting, cool. This actually movie has even more of the deadpan humor than Faults. And I gotta say also, I've always said that Riley Stearns reminds me of like Wes Anderson in terms of the way he directs it, albeit a bit darker. But after watching Duel especially reminded me not only of Wes Anderson, but Yorgos Lanthimos, like especially with The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's not a movie for everyone. Duel really isn't, but it's a movie that if you're on the film's wavelength, I think you're going to really dig it. It's really good. The training montage sequences are great. The synth-based score is awesome. The cinematography is just really, really beautiful, honestly. A lot to recommend. I personally really liked it when I saw it the other day, and yeah, it's my number 2, guys. I would definitely recommend Duel. So, last but not least, we have my number 1. And my number 1, you guys probably already guessed it, but my number 1 is The Art of Self-Defense. So this was the film that honestly got me to realize who Riley Stearns was. I saw this in theaters, and I loved it. I've seen this movie 4 times now, and each time it somehow gets better and better. It's a very, very tightly wound plot. It's got great story beats. It's got great character development, especially of the lead. The messages and themes about toxic masculinity, I think, are especially effective. It's just overall a very effective movie that, unfortunately, really went under the radar for a lot of people, the same way that Duel is probably going to go under the radar. It's a shame, but at the end of the day, Art of Self-Defense, I think everyone should watch it at least once. The humor definitely isn't going to be for everyone, but I do think it's a movie that you just got to admire, man. You really got to admire everything that's been put on screen and just how fresh it feels. And yeah, that's why it's my number 1. So you guys, Riley Stearns, I know he's only done 3 films, but let me know your ranking on his movies down below. And guys, as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, Letterboxd, and I'll catch you guys later.